All right. Hey, good people. This is the Conscious Connections podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Blackson. I have the lovely couple today, John and Andrea. We're going to get up in their business a little bit, but not too much, just to give us all the gems that we've been waiting for. How are you all today?
We're doing well. Thank you.
Doing well?
Thank you very much. Yes.
Speak for yourself.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
Okay.
You held my parking spot for me on South Street. Could have got yourself killed, but there you go.
That's right, baby.
That's love.
Okay.
I was going to come out there and help you if anybody said anything, even though I got here after you, but I was going to help you. All right, we're going to start off with the first question. What does it mean to consciously connect?
Really?
Yeah, that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Well, I think a lot of it deals with just communicating and just talking to each other instead of talking at each other, and just realizing that sometimes there are instances where you don't totally agree with everything, but you always have an agreement to work things out.
I like that commitment to work things out.
Mm-hmm.
So, here he go. Look.
Can you just pull your mic up a little bit?
Yes. Yes.
You can say you're not in front of a camera.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right. I'm messing with him. Same question for me?
Same question.
It is the not taking ourselves seriously. So seriously. We laugh a lot. You see, right? We banter from the time we get up in the mornings to the time we go to bed at night.
Yeah.
We are polar opposites in many ways, but our core values are the same. And that really works. And he's right. We communicate. Even if it's the hardest things, we find the softest way to have the conversation. So we're not going back and forth. We're not tearing each other down, but we talk to each other in a way that is healing and not harmful.
Yeah.
And that takes conscious work.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But he's my friend. He's my friend. Before he was my lover. He was my friend for 5 years. So
yeah. How long have you been married?
Going on 7 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So a total of 12 years.
yes.
He remembered the brownie points. I'm telling you, once people do these interviews, I never knew you felt that way. Brownie points. Brownie points.
Okay.
Tell us how you all met. You met as friends.
You tell the story. Go ahead.
So, as legend would have it, in 2005, I was at a conference presenting. This nut crashed the conference. He was not invited. His school was not invited. It cost $50,000 a year for a school district to be invited. One of his friends told him about the conference. He put on his leisure suit and came on down. If you saw the suit, I mean...
It wasn't quite a leisure suit, but it was made on my two favorite women, Polly and Esther.
Horny. So, I was there presenting around the parenting aspect, the family aspect of it. And he, according to him, he saw me across the room. I had on a navy blue suit. I was talking about raising my two sons, in the township that I was in, et cetera, et cetera. And he hopscotched across the entire, and it was a huge room. I didn't see him because I was talking to all kinds of people, but he hopscotched across the entire room until he got in front of me and said, "Hi, I am John." And I forget something about, he told me about robotics, and then he gave me his card. And then he gave me his card and said, "Let us stay in touch. I could help your sons." That's how he introduced himself to me. And for the next 5 years, I talked to him once or twice a year, except whenever there was something going on. I was running for school board, and I had a fundraiser. He showed up. I won the school board election. He showed up. Anything that was happening in my life, he was there. And so my friends would say, "Who is this random as hell dude? He's not saying anything." He was always going to teach. He would teach during the day, and then he would go off to college and teach at nights.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first things I learned about him, that he worked hard and he was a workaholic. And it took him 5 years. He thought I was with somebody. I was not, and by the time February 14th of 2010 rolled around, I had gotten into a major car accident the December before. Yeah. And I called him and I said, it was his birthday's on Christmas Day.
So I'm the 23rd of December.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm the 4th of January. So we're all Capricorns up in here.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right?
Okay.
So when I called him and told him I got into the car accident, he immediately wanted to come and help me get my new car. I said, "I got this." You do? Yep. I went and I negotiated my car. And he was so proud of me.
I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
Yes.
These are my own,
yes.
fully loaded. I don't buy brand new cars, you know, and we still have that car to this day.
Nice.
Right? Call it the Diva Mobile. So
it's no longer called the Diva Mobile because I'm driving it now.
it's called Frankie.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Toyota Avalon, so I'll call it Frankie Avalon.
Okay.
When I say corny, you're not.
You got the
gonna make
names.
it to
I see you, John. You got the names.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, it's all that with him. So, you know, we were just friends, and so Christmas Day I was all banged up, you know, for his holiday party. I showed up, you know, and he came out the house and he had like one little dirty mop trying to clean up the place. I should have known I was walking into craziness. And he had all these people come into the house, and there was this woman inside the house. Yes, I'm going to tell the story. I walked in innocent as a lamb. I mean, he's my friend. I'm not thinking.
Right.
She gonna turn to me and say, "Well, how do you know my John?" So immediately,
the my.
Immediately, I flipped around. The horns on my head went up, and I said, "Oh, is that how we playing it?" I said, "I don't really know him. We've only met. I've known him for 5 years. Well, you know, I know his sons, and I know his family, and I'm very close to their family." I said, "Oh, you up to something?" So I didn't stay. I gave him his little card, and I said, "Happy birthday," and I rolled out. I walked out, and I said to him, I said, I think she really likes you. What did she say to you?
When she left, she said about Andrea, "You know, John, she really likes you."
I wasn't thinking about him like that. Valentine's Day comes around, same year, 2010. He calls me and says, "Well, happy Valentine's Day." He texts me, "Who's the lucky guy?" I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm not dating anybody."
Yeah.
Dead silence for like 5 minutes. And then he texts me and he said, "I'm at a robotics conference." Who the hell is at a robotics conference on Valentine's
John, he's at the robotics conference.
I'll be home the next day. Can I take you to breakfast?
Yeah.
And that is after 5 years of his corny jokes. That is how our relationship started. We went out to date, and he loves diners. He could go to every diner across America. I despise diner food. We meet at Michael's and on 309, and we sat and talked for hours.
Yes.
And something that day clicked for me, but I was like, maybe not. And then 2 weeks later, he said, I would like us to become a couple.
2 weeks later. That's what I'm talking about. Who needs all this time? You already waited 5 years, right?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
So for 5 years, you thought she was in a relationship dating other people?
Yes, I did.
Why did you think that?
Because of her persona. She has a big personality. And it's not a bad personality. She's just very big, very open, and knows people. She's like kind of like Norm from Cheers. You know, everybody knows Andrea. You know, everybody knows Andrea. And I just thought because of her being, she has somebody special in her life. Much to my surprise and delightment.
Yeah.
That's not a word, John.
I know. I'm not an English major.
Robotics. Come on, keep up, Andrea. Robotics.
Much to my delight, she was not with anybody.
Yeah.
So I just thought, wait, well, maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. And when we went to the diner, we talked for hours, and we didn't run out of things to talk about. It was great. It was absolutely great. Yes. Now, one thing that she did not tell you about was when she left to go to the ladies' room at the diner, she had on these very, very nice snug jeans.
Snug.
Yeah. And she had a shirt that wasn't tucked all the way down. Now, when she got up, she was going to tuck her shirt down. I said, "You don't have to do that." And she just kept her shirt untucked and just walked to the ladies' room. I said, wow, she was great coming and going.
I hate to see you leave, but I love to see you walk away.
That was the first time you actually flirted with me.
Yes, it was.
Because before that, you were the perfect gentleman. He never, 5 years, he never flirted with me.
Yeah. And what did that mean to you? Friends. What did that mean to you, Andrea, that he never flirted?
It meant that he cherished our friendship, that he didn't want to, because in my mind, I thought he wasn't interested in me, and I was cool, you know. I just enjoyed talking to him because he was so damn funny, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it meant to me that he cared enough about keeping the friendship that he wasn't going to sabotage it by being untoward. And he also knew, he said this, he said he knew he had one shot to get it right because he saw me out there. He saw the personality that I have and that I don't take no foolishness from nobody.
Yeah.
So he was like, if I'm going to go shoot my one shot, it better work. And he did it, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked.
That's exciting. That's nice to know. So tell us about a time. I know you talked about how important values are, having the same values. Was there ever a time where you realized we are very different on this topic and our values are not aligned, and y'all had to maybe come to a happy medium? Or is it a time when you realize, like, oh my gosh, she gets it just like me, or he gets it, and this is great? Either way.
I wouldn't say it was different. I wouldn't say it was completely polar opposites, but the way we raised our children.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me?
Yes, somewhat. Yes.
He said yes.
He is permissive as hell. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They're how old now?
Yeah.
But,
Well, here's the thing. I'm the kind of guy that'll reach out. I'll reach out with an olive branch. She'll take the olive branch, be somebody over the head with it.
It's not true. He's never seen me being violent with anyone, but it's the inflection in my voice. Yeah. It's my eyes, right? So we both have sons. He has 2 sons. I have 2 sons.
Okay.
What we saw, and all 4 of them are doing incredibly well. All 4 of them graduated from college. All 4 of them are living on their own. But I found him to be more of a permissive parent than I was.
Yeah.
So when my eldest graduated from college, I'm like, okay, you got 6 months, bruh. What are you doing about your car insurance? I'm not paying your car insurance.
Yeah.
I'm not paying your phone bill. I'm not just trying to give them the opportunity to become men, right? Outside of their him. Dad, I need such and such. Okay.
Yeah.
Dad, can I? Okay. So to the point that my children would run to him because they thought I was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then when the rubber met the road at some point in our relationship, like a year in, we literally had a come to Jesus moment. And what ended up happening was he stood on my side firmly. And he said, I chose her. I married her. I will continue to choose her, and everybody better get on board.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to be me and her. Honestly.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. Because I was like, I am ready to rock and roll if this doesn't shift, right? Because sometimes when, I forgot to tell you, he was single for 19 years. So he was a confirmed bachelor and nobody thought he was getting married again.
19.5
years.
years.
Come on, John.
You gotta add the 0.5.
We'll give you the 0.5.
0.5 matters. It matters.
And there were people who assumed that because he was this confirmed bachelor, when he met with me, I look a whole lot younger than I am. I'm a middle-aged woman. I'll be 55 soon, right? So they assumed that he was my sugar daddy. Well, the goat head in me rose up and I was like, no, making my own money. No, doing my own thing. But it shouldn't have to be that way.
Right,
People make assumptions and they try to insert themselves into a relationship that they saw was working, and they were trying to figure out how they could do something to upset the apple cart. Because there were women who, and I don't know why, who were devastated, honey.
They were waiting. Were you getting casseroles every other week?
Wrote me from Chicago and
really?
Wrote me a letter, sent it to our house, and told and said how much she loved him and blah 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 blah. And he was so furious. He was like, "What are you? I haven't spoken to you in years." He said, "Don't," and he blocked her and everything. Right? Don't call my house. Don't whatever. When she died, she had her daughter send the obituary. She had her daughter call my husband and send the obituary to our house. He was at work when the obituary came. And she had in there a picture because they went to high school together of him and her. It was so old. It looked like something from the 1970s, the leisure suit with the platform shoes he had on there. It was like a powder blue thing. I kindly got a candle, said a prayer, and dropped the obituary and the picture right in there and went on by my.
Did you tell him when he came back?
Oh, I told him.
Okay.
I told him it was here, and I told him what I was doing. I was like, we're not having that spirit up in here.
Yeah, release that. Yeah.
Goodbye.
That's because you the nice, cool, calm John, so everybody's waiting. They're probably sending you casseroles from afar.
They were. And he loves his belly. So every holiday party they were showing up with the casseroles. Yeah. How did you know this?
Just a little lucky guess.
He was accepting the casseroles until I came on and he said,
absolutely.
Can you host with me? And I was like, not with all these hoochie mamas coming through with casseroles. We're not doing that. So they all had to go. His mother said she knew then.
Yeah.
He was going to ask me.
Yeah.
I didn't.
But the way I ended with all of them, I said, I wish you well in your future endeavors. I was never mean. I was never
Yeah, that's the thing about
never angry. I never raised my voice, but I just told them in a very nice way, this was it. I'm done. I wish you well.
Yeah. I think the one thing that you all did was set boundaries, right?
Right.
Like what you said with the children, with people on the outside. And I think that's one of the main ways that couples can connect as well. Like having those clear boundaries of this is what works for us. Because for me, I firmly believe that the couple comes first before the children.
You best to come through.
Yep.
You best
Right.
to say
If
it.
that's how y'all got here, we're both birth parents or we are not birthed and chosen. At the end of the day, we are taken care of y'all in some way. So if we're not good, nobody's good.
Yeah.
So we come first. So I applaud you all for that because a lot of people, it's a tussle. It's a back and forth, especially when it's a blended family.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's what we are, right? I am grateful for his mother.
Oh, yeah.
Who was just, she loves her some Andrea. And I love me some her. And she's a Capricorn too.
Wow.
And she said she just kind of knew. She saw all these people coming and going. She just kind of knew that we were going to be okay, you and I. And my parents, my mother and sisters love him so much. They told him the day we got married, you can't send her back. We don't want her back. So this is it. This is it. This is it.
So after you all got married, well, let me say this. After you all became a couple, whether there's any time where y'all took a break, any separation by choice or not.
It was one time.
Looks like it was one time. Tell us about the one time.
Tell the one time what had happened.
Well, I'm not sure exactly how it happened, but we kind of went our separate ways for a short period of time.
How long? You gave me 0.5 before, so I need you to be
Right.
exact now.
It was about a week.
It was about a week.
About a week.
But what happened? We had just started. We were like a month into dating. See, why you telling half the story? And I get up one morning. It
was your fault, huh, John?
Somewhere. Yeah.
That's why he's not telling it. It was his fault.
And I said something to the tune of, I don't know if I said, I was joking with him and I said, you're no longer fun or something crazy like that. And he took offense. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? We've been having a good time. So he had an attitude. We had to meet at a friend's house, Denise's house, right?
Yes.
Later that day.
Yes.
And so when he came, I didn't speak to him. He was looking at me like, what is going on? Because I'm stubborn, right?
Oh, you was
so
being
I didn't
petty.
speak to him. I was being petty. Thank you. I was petty McBetty. He said hello. He went outside and started throwing football with the children. I'm like, you know darn well your back ain't right. Why are you out there throwing football?
Feels
And
good today.
I felt miffed. God, this is coming out on a podcast, but I felt miffed that you went outside to play football and you didn't stay inside to find out what the problem was. So while he was playing football, I went deuces and I went outside, got in my car and drove away.
Savage.
Savage.
So you wait till the end of the event. Savage.
So then you said something to Denise because Denise called me. What happened?
I just talked to Denise and I said, well, what's going on? She said, well, Andrea left. I said, do you know why? She said, I don't know. She didn't want to get in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So we did not talk for a week, which was rare for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling right.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling right.
I missed you. And Denise called me. She said, Andrea, you know you're stubborn. I was like, I can't say that on here. I was good before him. I'll be good after him. And I had all this bravado, but every day I was checking my phone.
Yeah.
I was checking to see, and I said, how did it become this intense so quickly for me? I missed him, right? And I also wasn't sharing him with my friends and family. It was just me and him. It was just me and you, right?
Yes.
And so we were doing our little thing. And then, thank God, you sent me a text. No, you called me and you said, it is time for us to have a conversation. I love how you're a man about things, you know. And I was like, okay, when? And you told me the date and you told me what time. And when I showed up at your door, what was happening?
When she showed up at the door, well, first of all, she knows that I love food. Like you said, I love my belly. And I love her legs. Love her legs.
So she had on a skirt.
She had on a skirt.
Mini skirt.
A nice skirt. I mean, nice.
What color was it?
It was brown.
Brown.
It was
Okay.
brown. Yep.
It was black. And it was a mini dress. I know, the oxtails got you, but it was black and it was a mini dress. And let me tell you, I got out the car and I said, I had some left lying and flying.
Yeah, she made it just for you.
I ain't had no leftover oxtails. I whipped up a pot.
She wasn't even eating. She wasn't eating that week.
I had some leftover with my short dress on. I do have amazing legs. I tell you, it took him a long time to see them too. I said, I made this, and it took us 2 hours. It was 2 hours before we actually got into the conversation about why we didn't. Okay, okay. I'm gonna let your imagination do the talking.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Nice.
We made up real well. Yes, we did. Made it real well.
No back problems.
No.
Nope. Healed.
He said that one time his back don't hurt.
Healed. So as y'all share, y'all like to laugh and go back and forth and banter.
Yeah, we do.
What's one of the times you felt most connected to each other? I know you talked about the time where he stood up for you with the kids. Any other time you felt most connected?
Well, I know when my grandfather passed away, that was devastating for me because he was around till he reached 101 and a half.
Wow.
And she would go down and visit him sometimes twice a week. He was in a nursing home. And she became attached to him like I became attached to him. And when he passed away, she was there for me the entire time. And we felt so close to each other. We were really, really attached. She was there. It was hard for me to actually go through that. And I could not have seen myself go through that by myself. I'm so glad she was there by my side when I was going through this.
Yeah.
And I could see the pain in her face too. Yep.
Yeah.
And for me, it was when my throat closed up. Had shrimp.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes. Yes.
And we had just gotten married. It was August. I was waiting for him to, because I was like, all right, your house is paid for. We'll just combine our stuff with you. He had so much shiggity. It shut him. It was so bad that I said, okay, we just got married. I waited. We got married at the end of June. We're in the middle of July. I'm like, what's going on? He says, I'm still trying to get rid of a few things. Remember you saying that?
Yes.
And one day I said, give me the damn key. Because I packed up my spot. I said, let me go. I go, and what I found was it needed to be on an episode of Hoarders. I walked out the house, turned the key, locked the door. I said, I'm going to Atlanta to do some work, and I'll be back. And while I was in Atlanta, what showed up under the driveway?
A dumpster, a big dumpster, a dumpster long enough for the entire driveway.
Yeah, and our driveway can hold 6 cars.
Yes.
He calls me and he says, there's a dumpster in the driveway. What is it for? I said, everything but you. And there began. I know, because he was raised with grandparents and parents who collected everything, who was the World War or whatever, and they believed in the canned goods and saving everything. So he was doing a lot of that. And even to this day, yesterday I said to him while I was cleaning the first floor, why the hell is a styrofoam cup that I threw in the trash back in the dish drainer? Oh, to be good enough for my cup. Sir, I can't even. I said, if you don't get out this kitchen, I'm about to turn you into cinder ashes. So I got the dumpster and I threw everything out, all the beds, the stove, the refrigerator. He barely held on to his record collection. Yes.
He was trying to get rid of record.
Yes.
Oh.
That was the...
Draw the line here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
It got so bad, and I got people to come. They started with the backyard. We had to repaint the whole side of the house. We had to redo the facade in the front of the house. We had to plant everything out front. We had to redo the driveway because it looked like Beirut. And then when we got inside the house, it was just a lot. It's a beautiful big house, but he hadn't done anything but work on the roof and change the 35 windows. Yeah. So everything else was just like a man cave, right?
But wait a minute. Now. Can I interrupt you just for 1 minute? Okay. When she talked about the front yard, I thought it was a great shade of brown.
It was disgusting. Just weeds. And it got so that by the summer of 2016, the entire neighborhood was coming and stopping at our house and pointing and looking. And one woman said, where's the house that used to be here? And where's the man that was here? Is he dead? I said, no, I married him.
They said, thank God.
Some people thought I died. We thought the house was so different. That's amazing. Totally amazing.
And we did. And that first few weeks that we were in the process of doing that, and I was moving my stuff, and, 'cause it took me a while to move in, literally, right? Actually, it was until November. So we were married, but it took until November for me to fully move in. He didn't talk to me for like a week. Because he was like, you threw out everything. You threw out the crayon that I was holding on to. You threw out the 15 salt and pepper shakers from my grandmother's funeral. I was holding on to that. You threw out, and he was just, and so I had to teach him how to let things go in order to let things come back into his life. By the time we decided to empty the basement, because that was another dumpster, sis. He was like, he told the people that came, he said, throw everything out. I said, you all right?
Saved.
Yep. Everything.
Right,
Everything went.
But that particular summer, I had some shrimp from Sid Booker's. And when he walked in, babe, I'm home. I'm like, well, you got to put up the rods for the curtains, because he was working on the first floor. I'm on the second floor. And I started coughing. And I couldn't stop coughing. My eyes are dripping and just all this stuff coming out my throat. And he calmly put on his shoes and said, come on. And he drove me to the hospital. The only thing I remember after that was I was sleeping. When I woke up, the nurse said, he looked at us and said, don't let her die. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to watch everything that you do. She is the most important thing to me. When I finally awakened, the lady was like, girl, this man loves you, because he was about to knock us out in here. I was like, okay. But then he took a picture of me with my eyes swollen and sent it to me on my phone, because he's a smart ass like that, right? I
loved you when you look like this. I don't want to hear about this right now.
Even when you look like
Who was with you when you went through this?
Exactly.
Me.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that's rich. Wow. Those are some good stories.
Yeah.
I love hearing them. What about? I know that you're a public figure, like you said. How does that play out into your relationship? Because here John was thinking, because you're so public, everybody loves you. Your personality is so great. You must have somebody. Well, how does that play out in your relationship in regards to your public persona, who you are to everyone else, and then who you are in your relationship?
Right. So when we first started dating, I said to him, I want you to know that I am different. Most people don't understand me. And that's real talk, right? I'm just eclectic. I am who I am. Even my parents, it took my mother 35 years to understand her firstborn child, right? If I said I was going to do something, I was going to do it. And I said to him, I don't want you to be alarmed by the things you see me do. I go by my intuition. I go by how spirit leads me. And so in 2014, when I jumped into the F-16 and broke the sound barrier with the United States Air Force, he was like, okay, bye. My children were like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, let her do it. If anything happens to her, I got you. Right? So he was always there for me. How that played out for me, though, was that I never had a bunch of people that were close to me. People came, they attached themselves, and once they realized how unique I was, they found a way to disappear, right? They, and that it was including men who thought, oh, I love her personality. But when they got involved, they said, nah, you got to find a corner to go sit in. I was like, who the hell are you talking to?
Yeah.
And I didn't say that. It was just in my head. I was like, yeah, no, this is not going to work. And I just found my way and moved on. So for a long time, I thought I was never going to have anyone until he showed up. He is shorter than me. He wears glasses. He's a nerd.
And she's more of a microwave. I'm more of a toaster oven, as far as speed is concerned.
Right. Yeah. He wears this is color for him. Everything was brown, a beautiful shade of brown, army green. I told him he needed to go randomals. And if you see the stuff I wear, blow your mind blowing. I mean, I design my own stuff, but there is something people always say when we first meet you, we're like, how the hell did these two get together? But when you watch us interact with one another, then you get it, right? Yep. You get why we're so close. You get why we're so inseparable. You get why when we get up in the mornings, when we wake up, the first thing I do when I wake up is I reach over and I say, good morning, I love you. And he says, I love you too, babe, more than anything in the world. And that's how we start our mornings.
Yep.
Every morning.
Yep.
And sometimes when I'm asleep, she'll say, Sandman. Hi. Oh, I just want to say hi.
or I'll tap him and I'll say, I am having a hot flash. Can you turn on the fan? He said, but babe, the fan is above our head. Can you just reach up and, no. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to take care of me. And he gets up and he does it. This morning he made a scramble for me, so that I could have something to eat before I came out the house. He always thinks about me before himself, but I think about him too. Yes. All the time. Yes. All the time.
Yeah, that's good. I want to rewind a little bit. Both of you mentioned like your birth families.
Yes.
I believe that your birth family is like the first teachers of everything you do.
Yes.
Right. You talked about your mom maybe not even understanding you until you were 35. What lessons, what examples did you get from your birth family about love and relationships that you had to say, no, I don't want that? Or you said, I'm going to keep this part of what they taught me?
Well, both my mother and my grandfather had great work ethics. They really worked hard where they were, but they stayed at the same job for their entire life.
I would die.
Yeah, okay. I did not do that. I spent 17 years in corporate America. Then I made the switch over to academics. And both areas had their pluses. Yeah. But they also had their minuses as well. But I loved what I did, especially with the children. Especially when I was able to get some programs started at the high school that did not exist before. So to help. And I think I got that kind of work ethic and that kind of stick-to-itiveness from my grandmother, from my grandfather and mother, but my grandmother, even though she only had an education past 6th grade, she was very well read. She read the Bible every day. She listened to the gospel every day. And she was an advocate when I was in school because when I was younger, I studied a lot. And they wanted to put me in a special program. I said, well, you know what, John will be a good factory worker one day. And that was all the expectations they had of me at the school. And my grandmother and mother said, no, that's not happening. Yeah. That's not happening to our John. So they were my first advocates. And I think I used a lot of that when I grew older.
And 5 degrees later, right?
5 degrees later.
Now, what about relationships and love, though? What did they teach you about love and relationships?
Well, what they talk about love and relationships is that there's always going to be a rumble strip, sometimes the pothole, sometimes the crater.
I'm with you. She's being a naysayer right now. I'm with you, though. Come on. Just talk to me, John. Just talk to me. I'm with you. Rumble strip, a pothole. What was the other thing?
Crater.
Go ahead. I'm with you.
But what my grandparents did was they were understanding that everything was not going to be peaches and cream, especially at their age, especially in the era of what Black people were going through at the time. But they stuck it through. And they understood each other, and they helped each other, which is what I brought to the relationship with Andrea. I wanted to make sure that no matter what, she was first and foremost. Yeah. Always. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Andrea?
That's the one thing I don't worry about is you ever leaving me. Nope. I don't ever worry about that. So for me, my parents have been together for 50-plenty years. I am their first of 4 girls, and they're now in their 80s and have been married all this time, right? I learned... there were things about my parents' relationship that I learned that I did not want to do. So my mother to this day makes all my father's meals. Although I'm watching the tide turn now because she's getting a little older. He put up a thing that he baked bread. We were like, what? He didn't even know how to burn water, right? Yeah. And so I learned that I didn't want to be in a relationship where I was waiting on a man hand and foot, that my love doesn't have to show up that way. Right. And so my mother,
You okay?
I'm
okay up there?
She just wanted to touch you.
So my mother, to this day, when she makes my father's meal, she will put out the bowl with the meat, the bowl with the vegetables, the bowl with the thing, Three of my sisters do the same thing. I didn't. He said, and this is one of the reasons why I love him so much. He said, you stand up over that stove and you cook major meals. I will put our meals together. I will put the dishes together, and I will clean the kitchen. Child, I ain't never leaving
Teamwork.
this nerd. I'm trying.
Yeah,
Teamwork.
exactly.
I ain't
Teamwork.
never leaving this nerd. Y'all can go on with your bad self. Me and him, we us never part.
We us never part.
We shan't.
We shan't.
We shan't.
Although the one time I told you I was going to divorce you, what did you tell me? That it's going to be me, you, and the other man, because we come as a package deal. Remember that?
Yeah.
We friends. It's my friend.
Oh yeah.
You've always been friends.
Yeah.
So talking about,
I wanted to mention my parents as well. My mother remarried when I was about 16.
Okay.
And they've been together ever since.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
40, almost 50 years. Still,
Almost 50 years. Yes. So, and they were different. People saw them as being different.
Yeah.
But once again, they kept everybody else out of it.
Yeah.
And they made it work for them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So speaking of purpose and vision, when you all decided to be together, when you all decided to blend families, be married, what's the vision? Did you all co-create a vision for your relationship, for your family?
What was the vision you had, honey?
Well, my vision was pretty much seeing us together and seeing our families be together and just have such a good time talking to each other and just being able to relate to each other. So the vision...
In what world, though? You had to realize there were a man and a woman coming together, 4 children from different... And then all the family members. You had such a pie-in-the-sky visual. Meanwhile, everything around me was like, yeah, some of these people like you. Some of these people are waiting to watch and see. It took him a while to catch on that not everybody wanted what we wanted. Right?
Yeah.
And it took him a while to realize that it wasn't going to work out the way he envisioned it.
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
You got it right.
Okay.
You got it right. Yeah. But once again, we made it work. So those people, if they did not turn around their philosophy, they were philosophied out of our relationship.
You know that's a word. That's a word. What about you, Andrea? What was your vision?
So my vision was that our children are grown. Like good grown. The youngest one is 26.
Okay.
And we even adopted a daughter who is, how old is she? 39, Janelle?
39, yeah.
39 somewhere. I forget how old
she has her
Janelle is
own
now.
job,
Her own house.
She's potty trained. That's good.
So for me, the vision was that this part of our lives, we would fully enjoy it. You know, he gave so much of himself. I gave so much of myself raising children, you know, being around. So any chance we have, we travel. You know, he wants to go hang out in the museums. I want to go play with crocodiles, and then we come back for dinner. Like, we know what the things are that we love to do. And so we don't fuss about it. We don't say, I don't want to go on vacation because you want to go to the beach and I want to go to the museum. We sit and we say, where are the museums on this vacation, this trip where you can go to? And where are the beaches that you want to go to? And what are the things we can do together? I love him for that.
Yeah, and that's true acceptance. Because I feel like people quote it as compromise, but it's really acceptance and understanding the other person. You like one thing, I like the other, and we will not die if we don't see each other for an hour or two. We come back, we got stories to tell. You know, we can connect on that. So I love that. I love that. I think a lot of people try to just be together like this, and they're miserable.
What the hell?
They're just miserable. Yeah.
I tell couples all the time, you don't have to be up underneath. COVID tested us like everybody else. Because I was like, yo, if you don't go to the 3rd floor, there will be a crematorium waiting for you since you want to go up to beam up Scotty. And we would laugh. And he was like, am I getting on your nerves? You think? Because there was so much time. I traveled across the country quite a bit for my work. He was always in his classroom, but he would get to school at 6 a.m. Sometimes don't come home till 9 p.m. When it was robotics competition time, I felt like the robotics widow because I didn't see him for like a whole month, you know, because he was coming home so late and leaving so early. So when the opportunity, when COVID said, sit your behinds down, and we had to kind of coexist for more than a few hours at a time, then that was the test in our relationship. And we passed it with flying colors, thank God. Because then we began to sit down and talk to one another and cook together and read together and catch up on things we wouldn't ordinarily be able to catch up on and talk about our vulnerabilities. When I am afraid, he is the one I go and I talk to. These are the things that are bothering me. And he's like, I got you. And I believe him. Like, I got you.
Yeah. What are some of the things you learned about how you love in this relationship?
How you love? it's more than just words. It's just sometimes it's the body language. Sometimes it's the service that you do, and just being able to realize the person that you love loves you equally as much. And sometimes all it takes is a look at each other. Yeah. Sometimes we just look at each other and we're like that.
Oh, I rub his head.
Yeah.
I rub his head a lot. So his love language is touch.
Okay.
And I think it's words of affirmation, right? Yes. You like being appreciated. Mine is acts of service. So I'm not somebody who's into gifts, which blew his mind.
Yeah.
It's a fight every Thanksgiving. Andrea, what do you want? I don't want anything.
Yeah.
Why are you so strange? Call me strange one more again here. I don't need anything. I don't want anything, you know?
Speaking of gift, can I tell you about one instance on Valentine's Day?
Absolutely.
This was early on in our relationship. Now, okay, she already called me a nerd more than once. So on this one Valentine's Day, I thought I was doing something good because she just got a new computer. She got a new camera, and she was starting to get into some of the techie stuff. So on Valentine's Day, I got her a very nice romantic Valentine's card, and as a gift, I got her a couple of flash drives and SD cards. And when she opened up the box, she said, "Oh, storage." And she said just like that. I said, "Uh-oh, I got a problem." So thankfully, her son was there. Said, "Andre, we got to go out. We got to find something that your mother likes before she kills me. And if she kills me, you going down with me, whether you like it or not." So we went and we bought her something that he knows that she likes. So we were both saved on that Valentine's Day.
Nice. No massacre that day.
No massacre. No St. Valentine's Day massacre that day.
Yeah.
He could have given me a potato, but storage. I was like, you literally gave me flash drives. He was so proud of himself, too.
I thought I was doing a
She needed it. She used it.
Yeah.
That's not the point.
I will say that I've enjoyed myself with you all. But before we leave and sign out, could you each share some advice that you would share to couples, people who are single, looking to be coupled, married couples?
You go first, babe.
You could leave them with anything. What would you leave them with?
See the heart before you see anything else.
That's good.
You know, the way my husband showed up was in crushed shirts. He didn't iron his shirts. He got a haircut once every 3 months. He was a total nerd. He had the pocket protector. But I saw him. Like I saw him.
Yeah.
He made me laugh. He was always so kind and so warm and so open. I was so in love with him. That even though I told him I didn't want to get married again because we'd both been married before, and he was like, "Yeah, I agree with you," I knew I was going to marry him again. I was just waiting for him to ask, and thank God he did ask. But see the person, see the inside, see this.
Yeah.
You know, see the heart, see the core values. We get too caught up on 6 feet 5 inches tall, driving a Bugatti, living in a, like we're under accliments, and then we get into these relationships and we're so damn miserable because we don't like the person that we thought we wanted.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see the inside.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's rich. What about you, John?
I think the thing that I appreciate about her relationship is not only do we love each other, we like each other. And that's really, really important. You have to like the person. You can't just be lovey-dovey all the time. Sometimes you have to just come down to planet Earth.
Yeah.
And you have to talk to the person. And communication is so key to this. And you have to like the person. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Well, thank y'all so much.
You didn't implode. I like that.
I didn't implode?
No. You did all right.
I did all right?
You did all right.
I knew you was going to crush it, John. I had faith in you. Just saying. I had faith in you. But thank you all so much for joining us. This is the episode of Conscious Connections. I'm your host, Nicole Blackson. Thank you, John and Andrea. It's been such a joy and a pleasure.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.